Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's show. With me today is Josh. He's the founder of Rooted.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me on the show, Luke.
Of course, thanks for being here.
It's
We
always
really
a good time,
appreciate
man.
it. We've been reading about you guys in the news, so we wanted to get you on here and have you tell us a little bit about what you're doing. And first of all, let's start out with a little bit of a background for the listeners, just so they know what Rooted is and what you guys do.
Sure thing. So if you do live under a rock and you don't know what Rooted is, no, I'm just kidding. So Rooted, we noticed there's a huge problem with the landscaping process, getting landscaping done for your yard. And we also noticed that there's 9 billion gallons of water wasted every day, and so we're kind of bridging those two problems together, and we're developing a landscape design tool so you can communicate better with your landscapers, at the same time empowering you to save water and save the bees. Because who doesn't want to save the bees? So that's the main sort of like concept behind the idea.
Of course. So who, I guess, then is really your target user?
Yeah, so the target user for us right now is millennial homeowners. So basically the people that just started a family, they just started their real careers, they're just now buying their first homes. They've got a little bit of disposable income, and so we started in Denver, Boulder, and sort of like the Front Range in Colorado, and so we're targeting like the 30-year-old millennial mom who's got 1 to 2 kids, 60 to 100K.
Boulder is the perfect place to do that.
Yep, Boulder's a good place, and places that actually are somewhat environmentally conscious is another thing.
Okay.
Because we want people that actually want to save the bees.
Of course.
Save the water.
Of course. So I know that this whole new phenomenon, environmentally conscious people are, it seems like they're thriving more and more every day, and they're sprouting up like crazy. How have you noticed an increase in other competitors, or how do you stack up against the market?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. So right now, what people do is they just have their landscapers, and so they'll reach out to their landscapers, through some like million different tools, whether it's Yelp or TripAdvisor, and it's never easy to find them. And so occasionally a lot of these landscapers will do design as well, but the designs they do don't ever turn out right, because the landscapers don't necessarily have the same data or knowledge that we do, Rooted, and so as far as like a competitive advantage against them, we have a lot of strength in the data that we use to actually back up our designs.
So this is new then, right, for the industry?
For the industry, we're developing like a completely new model, a completely new version. Okay. The only other way to get like good designs done, you either go to your nursery, your local nursery, which just sells your plants, and they're really great, but the people that you can actually communicate with that give you the right plant information about your yard are hard to get a hold of because they're not always around. There's only like 1 or 2 of them. They're not experts. Again, they don't have the same data. And your only other option is, going to a landscape design firm. But unless you've got an extra $10,000 just for a design, that's not really feasible.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're sort of like trying to reinvent the wheel. Is just make it easier for the regular homeowner to actually design a landscape at a reasonable price.
And how, you talk about kind of being a good alternative, for the traditional route. How has your traction been on client onboarding?
So right now we're at 2. We just started. We just hit our second client, and so one of the difficult things is building up that portfolio. So traction is kind of hard to get, and it's really, really difficult to actually outreach to our particular market. So we're having to figure out the sales funnel and figure out the best ways to reach out to our target customers, which has been a struggle. Fortunately, we were at 2. We had 1, and we had to drop her because she was just not a good fit for us.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want to have to deal with that particular situation. But moving forward, we've got a beta round set up for spring.
Okay.
So we'll hopefully have 10 people in that pilot test, 10 customers, and that's sort of like the traction as is. Most of what we've done has just been, outreach.
I love it.
It's been like talking to homeowners, surveying, getting their feedback, figuring out what the pain points are in the particular process of getting a landscaper, and seeing where most of the miscommunications happen.
So in your guys' process, in working with these two clients that you have you encountered any major internal issues, you think? Or, have you had any pivots that you've had to make? Or
Oh, huge pivots, man.
Huge pivots?
Yeah, so we started this 6 months ago, and we actually started out as a plant selector. So it was literally just a service so people could go online and select which plants they wanted to use for their yard. And we were like, okay, that's great, but it's kind of like a novel tool.
Yeah.
And so we pivoted from that to, still targeting the same group of people, but now we're actually providing, like a full service, like marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like Uber for finding a landscape designer.
Gotcha.
And so that was the original idea. Again, same customer base, but the product wasn't right. So we switched from that over to the self-service model, where we'll just do the designs for the customer.
Yeah.
And so then it really became more of a service than a product, and really figuring out, how do we make it clean and simple and effortless for a homeowner to really get a design for their yard with as little effort as possible. And we like to say, it should be as easy as drinking a glass of wine. So, our 30-year-old, newly family started customers, they're big fans of wine, so we want to.
Of course. And I
should
said
be as easy
earlier,
as that, yeah.
I think that in terms of looking at potential threats in the marketplace, it seems few and far between, especially with such a sustainable product that you're creating.
Totally. Yeah.
So I guess talking about that then and moving forward, where do you see your company? Where do you see it growing? Where do you see it changing?
Yes, the big overarching vision is for a homeowner to scan their yard with their phone. And that'll take somewhere between 30 to 60 seconds. Just scan your yard with your phone, and within 15 minutes after that, they'll fill out a taste survey, and we'll automatically generate plans for their yard. And we'll give them a list of plants. We'll give them, the list of plants and the placement will all be based on the scan of the yard. So use augmented reality and artificial intelligence to sort of figure out where shadows are during the day, what the sun path is during different parts of the year. We can get geolocation data, determining, the climate, humidity, XYZ, and then we'll sort of accumulate all that across our database of plants, and then we'll just plop out a list of plants that are perfect for the yard, placement for the plants that are perfect for the yard. We'll give them suggestions on where they can go to buy those plants, if they want to do it themselves, what tools and tutorials they might need. And in addition to that, we can also connect them with landscapers that we vet, which is another way that we make money. It's sort of like a referral service through the landscapers. And so that's sort of like the overarching vision. For right now, we're really just a design company.
Yeah.
Our customers, they hire us, and we'll make the design for them in as frictionless a way as possible.
I love it. I think that you have a unique opportunity to really integrate what you guys are doing with other companies as well. Have you thought of any strategic partnerships?
Hugely important question. So, the big ones is we get all of our data from a company called Plantium. They're actually up in a little bit northern Colorado. And so they do essentially the same stuff that we do for huge, big clients. So like 10K is the minimum for one of their projects. And so that's been really beneficial for us because we basically just get to piggyback off their success and their data, and they don't really want the shrimp that we're sort of like eating up. And so in the near future, that could either be an exit or a sort of like launching pad toward connecting with people like with companies like Lowe's or Walmart, as well as the local nurseries, potentially selling products directly through the platform. And as well, one of the biggest partnerships is through landscapers themselves. So it's not like a big partnership, but it's like minute partnerships with each individual landscaper.
Of course.
And of course, we can always sell direct products. So like we've talked a lot about Ratio. It's like a smart water system.
Okay.
About potentially like partnering up with them so we can combine our data and sort of like as soon as people have planted in their yard, it's like, oh hey, use Ratio and you can keep an eye.
Yep. Love it. I love it. Well, Josh, time's about up. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for telling us about Rooted. And for the listeners out there, check it out.
Yeah.
I know
Rootedapp.com. Rootedapp.com. Rooted App on all social media platforms.
Love it. Thanks, Josh.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks for having me, man.